6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Aisha Nayab. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has directed to prepare comprehensive roadmap to increase IT exports. Minister for Planning and Development says continuity of policies and political stability is must to achieve sustainable development. Information Minister has expressed commitment to work with media to highlight government's initiatives and policies. United Nations Secretary General calls for end to unabated killing of Palestinians by Israeli forces in Gaza. Indian government has announced to implement the controversial citizenship law opposed by Muslims. In Pakistan Super League, Multan Sultans will play against Quetta Gladiators in Karachi tonight. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has directed to prepare a comprehensive roadmap to increase IT exports. Chairing a meeting regarding IT and telecom sector in Islamabad today, he said steps would be taken to exploit full potential of IT exports worth billions of dollars. He said the youth would be provided with education and skills in the IT sector and facilities required for startups. The Prime Minister said the projects which were started for the IT industry in the previous government are yielding positive results. He said the expected volume of IT exports this year is more than $3 billion. Shehbaz Sharif said a comprehensive report should also be prepared and submitted regarding special technology zones. He said the country's IT sector has to work hard to bring it at par with the international standards. President Asif Ali Zardari visited mausoleum of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah in Karachi today to pay tribute to the father of the nation. Governor Sindh Kamran Khan Tisuri and Chief Minister Murad Ali Shah also accompanied him. The president laid floral wreath at the mausoleum and offered Fatiha. He also recorded impressions in the book of visitors. Ishaq Dar has formally assumed the charge of the country's 39th foreign minister. On his arrival at the foreign ministry in Islamabad today, he was received by Secretary Foreign Affairs Mohammad Siraj Sajjad Qazi and the other senior officials. The foreign minister was briefed about Pakistan's foreign policy and priority areas. Minister for Planning and Development Ahsan Iqbal has expressed the government's determination to foster an entrepreneurial ecosystem aimed at job creation and youth development. In a televised message following assuming the charge of his office in Islamabad today, he underscored the significance of such planning to ensure sustainable development. He said continuity of policies and political stability is a must to achieve sustainable development. He said the government would strengthen the private sector, which should introduce Pakistani products in the world markets. He also invited overseas Pakistanis to come forward and contribute to the development of the country. Energy Minister Musaddiq Malik has directed to ensure availability of gas and electricity to the consumers during Seher and Iftar timings. Taking charge of his office in Islamabad today, he said facilitation of people was amongst the top priorities of the government. The minister said efforts were being made to address the issue of circular debt on durable basis. He said all possible facilities would be extended to local and foreign investors in the gas and minerals sectors. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Ataullah Tarar has expressed commitment to work with the media to highlight government's initiative and policies. He made the remarks after assuming charge of the office at the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting in Islamabad today. The Information Minister said that the media serves as a bridge between the people and the government. Ataullah Tarar said doors of the Ministry of Information would remain open for the journalist community. He emphasized the importance of promoting positive and constructive journalism in the country and strengthened the relationship between the government and the media. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has called upon United Nations Security Council to develop a mechanism that ensures uniform implementation of its resolutions, particularly regarding long-standing disputes. at the UN Security Council open debate on the working methods of the Security Council, Deputy Permanent Representative of Pakistan to the United Nations Usman Jadoon emphasized that the Council's failure in this regard undermines its credibility. Ambassador of Pakistan to European Union, Belgium and Luxembourg, Amna Baloch, has called on Permanent Representative of Denmark to the EU, Christian Gunborg Jensen, during the meeting that discussed issues of mutual interest in the light of international developments. U.S. Consul General Christine K. Hawkins called on Punjab Chief Minister Maryam Nawaz in Lahore today and discussed matters of mutual interest. Christine K. Hawkins congratulated her on her election as Punjab Chief Minister. During the meeting, discussions were held on promoting economic cooperation and increasing scholarship opportunities for Pakistani students in top U.S. educational institutions. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government restored health card services across the province from today. The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa cabinet had approved restoration of free medical treatment for the public under the health card during its first meeting last week. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for end to unabated killing of Palestinians by Israeli forces in Gaza amid sanctity of holy month of Ramadan. Talking to newsmen, he warned that hunger and malnutrition were getting rampant in the Gaza Strip. The UN Secretary General also reiterated the call for removing obstacles to aid delivery. Indian government has announced to implement the controversial citizenship law opposed by Muslims. The law allows non-Muslim religious minorities, particularly Hindus from Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan, seek Indian citizenship. It was passed in 2019, but its implementation was halted due to mass protests in the country. The law has sparked widespread criticism from within India and abroad for being discriminatory against Muslims. BBC has released a report highlighting the precarious situation of press freedom in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and challenges faced by journalists. The report has underscored that since the revocation of special status of territory in 2019, the Indian government has been using multiple pretexts to subdue journalists. The report mentioned journalist Asif Sultan, who continuously went through the vicious cycle of bail and arrest. He would get bail in one case and would get arrested in another just hours after release. China, Russia and Iran are holding joint naval drills titled Maritime Security Belt 2024 in the Gulf of Oman. The exercise aims at strengthening maritime cooperation and safeguarding regional peace and stability. It will continue till Friday. In Pakistan Super League, Multan Sultan will face Quetta Gladiator in Karachi tonight. The match will start at 9 p.m. tonight. And finally, the weather report. Rain with windstorm and wind with thunderstorm and snowfall over hills is likely in Islamabad, Upper Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit-Baltistan, Kashmir and adjoining hilly areas during the next 12 hours. Dry weather is expected elsewhere in the country. Now some of the headlines once again. Prime Minister has directed to prepare comprehensive roadmap to increase IT exports. Minister for Planning and Development says continuity of policies and political stability is must to achieve sustainable development. Information Minister has expressed commitment to work with media to highlight government's initiatives and policies. UN Secretary General calls for end to unabated killing of Palestinians by Israeli forces in Gaza. Indian government has announced to implement the controversial citizenship law opposed by Muslims. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.